What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, we're going to talk about the Google Pixel Fold trade-in values and what I expect them to be. It's a common question I get from a lot of you guys because either you're new to the Pixel line of phones and you're thinking about upgrading from like a Samsung phone or an iPhone, or even like maybe even just a Pixel phone that you had and you haven't upgraded in a really long time, and you're curious what to expect for the trade-in values. You've known recently, if you're on the Samsung side, that they've kind of dropped the value of their trade-in values. And I expect Google to kind of stay where they are in some regards and maybe up the ante a little bit due to the fact that this is a more expensive phone, more expensive than they've really ever released. They released their Pixel 7 phones and 7 Pros, and those go from anywhere from $599 up to about $1099. And that's, for a flagship phone, it's pretty inexpensive. But the cost of the Pixel Fold is supposed to be anywhere between about $1,700 and about $2,000. It'll be in that range right there, depending upon which variation you get and not, if there's a sale or anything like that. So let's talk about the value. So first of all, let's just talk about the carriers. If you're with like T-Mobile or Verizon or AT&T, one of those, they almost always have these deals going on where they'll give you like, you know, depending upon what phone it is, usually somewhere between like $700 and $1,000 of trade-in value if you get the phone. And I still expect that to be the same thing. It's not because it's the Pixel phone. It's usually because that's just what they have going on right now. I don't expect anything ultra crazy to happen in the carrier space, like, oh, you're trading in a newer iPhone, oh, we're gonna give you the phone for free on the Pixel Fold. I don't think it'll be like that. I still think the best value that you'll get will be up to $1,000, but probably somewhere in between that $700 and $1,000, depending upon which carrier you're with. Now that leads us to, what if you buy the phone directly with Google? What can you expect? Well, I looked at what they were giving like with the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. I looked at what they're currently giving with phones as well, and they've kind of kept it about the same from the beginning of the pre-order up until now, which the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro are pretty old right now. Not old, but I mean, they've been out for 7 months or so it's been out for a while. So what do I expect with the Pixel Fold for if you trade in? So if you're trading in a newer phone, especially on the iPhone side, I think iPhones will probably have the highest trade-in values, or at least some of the highest trade-in values, especially if it's one of the newer iPhones. I expect if you're trading in like an iPhone, 14 Pro or Pro Max, you're probably gonna get a lot of money. I would expect you'd get up to $800, but realistically, it still might be in the 700s. But I think since the phone's a little bit more, the Pixel Fold that is, I expect them to give a little bit more on the trade-in value. So I wouldn't surprise me if they go up to 900, but I think the ultimate most they'll go is about 800 or about $820 for that Pro Max. Now, if you're trading in an iPhone 14 or 13 Pro Max or something like that, I expect them to give you probably between $600 and $700 for trade-in value. Anything older than that, it's gonna drop drastically is my bet, probably below $500. Now, what about Galaxy phones? There's gonna be a lot of people, because Galaxy's literally, at least in America, one of the most popular phones on the Android side that people have. When you go out in America, you usually see someone either has a Samsung phone or they have generally an iPhone. So with Samsung phones being basically the second most popular phone in America, you'd have to go with that the S23 line of phones, probably gonna get about the same value more or less between the 23, 23 Plus, and 23 Ultra. I expect them to be in the 700s at the most, maybe 750. Wouldn't surprise me to see it 800. I don't think you'll see it above 800, but my guess is you see it about $750 for top of the line Galaxy S23 phones. If you go to the 22, 21, something like that, you're probably gonna see about $600 of trade-in value. But what about like the Z Flip 4, Fold 4, those phones? What do I expect to see? Maybe even the Fold 3. I still don't think you'll see anything above $800. I can't imagine that Google's gonna give you $1,000 or $900 on those phones. Even though those phones are really expensive, I just don't think they're thinking they're gonna steal customers from that line of phone. I think they're looking for new customers, people that are new to the Fold. So I don't think they're gonna go out of their way to really throw the kitchen sink at people that already have folds on the Samsung side and think they're gonna steal them and bring them to the Pixel Fold side. But yeah, I think about $700-800 for the Galaxy Z Fold 4. For the Z Fold 3, probably about $600 is my guess on that. And then if you're coming from just a traditional Google phone, like a Pixel phone, like a 7 or a 7 Pro, which is their newest phone, I expect you probably won't get anything more than $700. Wouldn't even surprise me if they top it out at about $650. And then, you know, if you're going older than that, I would guess like a 6 or a 5. It's definitely going to be below $500 is my guess on there. But I don't think I don't think we're going to see anything drastic in terms of trade-in values directly with Google. I think they're going to do what they kind of expect us to what they've done in the past with other phones, and that they're like, you know, take it or leave it. And this is kind of like our first gen. We're going to get better with this. We'll get the price down. And then maybe at that point, we'll be aggressive with trade-in offers. But I think this is going to be like the phone they sell to people that are kind of intrigued about going to the Pixel side because it's a folding phone, because they wanted to try a folding phone, because they're new to the folding phone line, is my guess. And they're not going to, again, throw everything at the kitchen sink to make this like one of their best-selling phones. I think they kind of want to get their feet planted and go from there with it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.